Hi, I'm Lee.
I'm Joe.
And we are the Rewinders, rewatching childhood movies to see if they still hold up. This time we watched Big. It's about a boy that wanted to be big. He got big. Then he didn't want to be big anymore. So then he was small again. But then his jacket was too big. Big.
Done.
There. That was the movie. I don't know. Okay.
But there were, I think, little video game sounds in this movie. Not specifically that.
It started off with video games immediately.
Yeah.
In the text-based RPG-ish
Kind of like a Commodore 64
game.
kind of thing.
Yeah, computer. Can you got a computer?
Cool, that's to show he's got computer skills.
And that is necessary for the plot. In the 80s, there were a lot of... well, they came back. I think they were also in the 60s or whatever. But in the 80s, there were a lot of swap movies. So
yes.
A dad would swap bodies with his son, or other things would be swapped with other things.
Yep. Sister and brother would switch places.
Yep. Mom and daughter. I don't think they ever did that. It's like
that
vice
would be
versa,
weird.
And other ones.
I can't remember the name of the other one.
A rich person and a poor person.
Yeah,
I think a white person and a black person.
Yeah.
A lot of body swapping movies, and this was another one. Except
would
it wasn't
Starman be a body swap?
I have never seen Starman.
Huh. Okay.
So
then you can't answer that
question. I thought
question.
Starman, wasn't he an alien?
Yes. But he wasn't like an alien walking around.
So he swapped himself into a human Jeff Bridges body?
Was that Jeff Bridges?
I think so. I want to say Jeff Bridges was Starman. Starman. Oh.
It's possible the guy did have brown hair.
Did he talk like the dude?
No.
Oh, he wasn't gruff yet.
He didn't really talk
Was he in
a
Tron?
lot.
Anyway, Big. Tom Hanks. So it's our second Tom Hanks movie, right?
What was our other Tom Hanks movie?
Splash.
Yes, yes. This would be our second Tom Hanks movie.
Mm-hmm. And this is the 80s, so Tom Hanks had not become a serious dramatic actor yet. I think that was Philadelphia was his breakout role.
Okay.
That he got all serious and hasn't gone back to comedy yet.
He's got the skills in this, though.
He knows he's great in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about it just yet. But
yes.
Memories of this movie from your childhood. What do you remember?
I think it was it was a really good, easy to latch on movie as a kid. Because obviously, as a kid, you don't want to be a kid and under other people's roofs and stuff like that. You want to get out and do things that you're not allowed to do, stuff like that.
Yeah.
This kind of gave you a little vision of what could possibly be.
Yeah,
but then crush it at the same time to introduce you to responsibility.
True. Yeah, because Josh or Tom Hanks, he gets his dream job, a kid's dream job.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if I'd want to do that, but yes, it is really made. It's made for everybody. Everybody can have different viewpoints of this in this movie. For me, I remembered getting your own apartment. I'm trying to remember as a kid. Yeah, getting your own awesome apartment with because he got pinball machines. He had his own trampoline, obviously a Pepsi machine. Coke. Come on, Pepsi. I know it was a choice of a new generation back then, but Coca-Cola is so much better. Was and is better.
Oh. You
can come and fight me on that if you want.
No.
Not you.
Oh.
Because you would win. Anyway, you fight dirty. Like, start tickling immediately.
But tall, gangly guys.
Just kind of latch in there, and you got your hip maneuver. Just crush people with your pointy hip. Well, okay, I'm telling people too much about your body. But Joe is big, and I'm not big. I've always been short, so maybe that's another thing that the movie I connected with because, Josh is too short in this movie.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so, I remember it being a good movie, but I don't remember it being funny either. Like, overly a comedy. I never really thought it as a comedy.
Yeah. When I think of it that way, too, was it supposed to be more funny?
Yes.
Because it's actually just more dramatic than anything else.
It's more dramatic and more whimsical or heartfelt than
Yes.
and realistic fantasy in a way, kind of,
I
without
agree.
being. But it's not a straight up comedy. I would never call it that. But then I looked it up, and people are saying, "Oh, it's the top 100 best comedies around," and it's not.
It has funny parts, but anything dramatic should probably have at least a funny moment, and everything funny should have at least some sort of dramatic moment.
You should.
So,
But let's
go on the internet and troll them all.
right. You're wrong. Your opinion is wrong. That's all I got for memories.
Yeah, I don't have any specific memories attached to this. Never found a Zoltar machine when I went to the county fair or anything.
Apparently those were around all over the place. And I remember seeing fortune-telling machines similar to.
Yes, but
not,
never like that.
And I think Zoltar or Zoltan, those things actually did exist. Like that name even. There were similar ones around.
All the ones I ever found were like, grab the handle, I'll tell your fortune.
Yeah,
it's like
stuff like
lame
that.
stuff.
Really, well, that's
not
the idea. It
a
was supposed to be
chuck a coin in a dude's mouth kind of thing.
slowly opening its mouth. That was pretty good. But let's get into it.
Yes.
Plot.
Yes.
It's your job.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were starting.
No, it's your job now. We swapped roles.
Correct.
That's what I was trying to lead you into it, then you just kept on talking about memories. I thought it was funny. Okay, I'll be blunt. Joe, tell us the plot.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We start off with a Commodore 64-ish kind of text adventure in a cave. It makes it seem like this is the end of the game.
Yes.
But you find out later, this is just what the game is. It starts at this point and ends at this point.
Because later on he puts it back in, and then he's there. How do I defeat this ice wizard or something?
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
Games at that time period typically did not have a timer for you to put in an answer. So I call BS on that right away movie. Mm-hmm. Screw you for trying to pretend that video games put a actual timer on people for decisions. In the 80s, very few did.
Well, they were able to have a timer in there because there was nothing else to the game, so the programming worked.
Okay,
it was just one
I'll
screen,
give it that.
And you could move your different screens where the sword would move this way or up or down, and that was about it.
Yeah, you're right.
Was there a name for that game? I don't even think it had a name.
It did. I'm pretty sure it had a name.
Wizard.
Ice Wizard or something. Yeah.
But it's a really strange opening because it just immediately cuts to quiet, and we're looking at a video screen.
He got the bad ending in the video game because he did not make a decision fast enough.
Well, his mom was also yelling at him to get the trash out or something.
Yeah.
So it was distracting his thought process.
Well, plus these type of games, you die so much in to try and figure out,
Yes.
Oh, now suddenly I need to know the word flask?
I can't get you flask. How do I get you flask? Yeah, because you're trying to type in all these different things and you have no idea. So
they don't give you a list.
And that you're experimenting. Okay, I give him the middle finger. Did that do anything? Nope. Yeah, and so on and so forth.
So then he takes out the trash before zooming off to meet up with his ginger friend, his next door neighbor, somewhere.
Did you recognize the ginger friend? I mean, he's not a name, but we reviewed a movie he was in.
I figured that was the case.
So we have Josh is
Tom Hanks.
Is Tom Hanks basically,
yes.
And Billy is his next door best friend.
Yeah,
and he was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
That was him.
Yeah, he was the other guy. He's the same guy, kid, the annoying kid of the Thompsons. I want to say.
So the neighbors,
Russ or Little Russ. No, he was yeah. Anyway, it wasn't Little Russ.
My brain isn't working very well. I just keep seeing the kid. I get it.
Oh, the annoying nerdy kid.
Yeah, so I'm way off.
French class.
So then they talk about a teacher's boobies. They see the cute girl. Tom Hanks, as a child, likes the cute girl. She says his name as she's walking by.
Yeah, she gives.
So they're like, whoa!
She's older, I think. I don't.
Nope.
No,
she's in their grade or something like that. She's just taller
because
gals are taller than boys.
Gals
when they're younger.
Oh, there you go.
Supposedly.
Is that the voice you use during your sex education talks?
Nah, that's how I talk to my wife all the time.
Hey, you should come over here. I'll give you a back rub.
The accent just switches all the time, so I'll start there and I'll end up like...
Wait, for real?
Yeah. I just randomly
That's what gets
talked
her motor running. Okay. I don't want to delve into that any further. Let's continue with the movie.
Little Tom is like, Little Bill, hey, help me out, pick up this chick. And Little Bill's like, you got it. You're my friend. Let's sing this song. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa
So yeah,
pop, shimmy, shimmy,
they're just
rock.
hanging out, and the credits are going, and they're just walking back home, and we hear them sing this weird shimmy song, which I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's made up or if it's real, but both of them like this song a lot, and they're dancing and singing because they're best friends. So they have this song together.
I believe that type of song, a version of that type of song, kind of became a thing after this movie.
It did. I don't remember.
Think a little bit.
I didn't. I thought it was made up, so I didn't even. Whatever. Yeah, but we had the weird credits that come across like a TV show. It was the credits were weird because they kind of flew in and flew out.
Yeah, they weren't exactly
They were
movie
strange.
style.
They looked cheap.
Yes,
And then you see Penny Marshall had directed this movie. This movie was a big hit, and she was the first female director to make over $1 million in the box office.
Would that be
Do you know
a big amount of money?
Yeah. Do you know who Penny Marshall is?
No, she's a director.
She was an actress first. You've heard of Gary Marshall, right? Her father. You've seen Laverne and Shirley, right?
Yes.
She's Laverne.
Okay.
They talk a little bit, but then they go to the carnival. There's a carnival right away that night, and that's where the lady is. Billy lives in a terrible family, and he does all the work. He cooked everything, but the mom is saying, "I work 8 hours. I hate you," and it was a little too real.
It's over the top.
It was over the top. I don't come out 8 hours into this shithole and fucking ass fucks. Maybe not swear that much. But jeez.
Yeah, it's
And the dad looks over at the kids, and the kids look at each other, and like I think the teenage daughter like, "Jeez, this bitch, calm down." Billy's the one cooking. Anyway, but
it sets
you're
up,
right. It sets up that his household isn't necessarily the best.
a lot different from Little
True.
Tom's.
Little Tom, Josh's. You can call him Little Tom.
Okay.
Because he's Little Tom right now.
They have midnight walkie-talkie chats, and then they go to the night fair.
Oh my God, don't want to skip that. Yeah, I do remember the Little Tom's dad. Terrible actor. He's like,
Well, he's not really in this
"Hey
very
there,
much.
sport."
There's a reason why you don't see him after a while.
You don't see him ever again. You just hear him on the phone.
So not only did she lose a son, but apparently the husband packed up and left
Gone.
and
I can't deal with this shit.
hooked up with the next door lady.
Yeah. She had enough too, and they went to Tijuana together.
And now they have a show. Anyway, so at the night fair, Little Tom's with his parents, and they see the girl that he's interested in line for a scary ride. A scary ride being a pukey ride.
Yeah, very pukey. And this kid is awkward. He's standing next to her. He's like, she's trying to chat him up. Like, "Oh, you've been on this ride?" "Yes."
Well, yeah, and he also does the way he gets the girl's attention.
He just stands.
I
Next to her.
totally understand because
You've done
I'm
this.
an awkward social person.
Yes.
Now, make me a child about that same age. I kind of did stuff like that where I was too awkward.
You just appeared next to someone.
Yes.
Hello. Not even that. You just stand there. And
No,
wait
I
for
wouldn't
them
even
to
say hello.
No, they have to be the ones to say
Yes.
hello to you.
That somehow made sense to me.
That's awesome.
Was that I would just make myself available and very obviously available to get someone's attention, and then they would be like, "Hey, do you want to do something?" Yes. I was awkward. I still am awkward.
Thank you for the correction.
So he just kind of butts up against her. "Oh, hey, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm in line." "You by yourself?" "Yeah." "Why are your parents over there?" "Oh."
Yes.
Taking pictures of them from a distance.
From a distance.
So then he kind of tries to make conversation, and then teenage boy shows up. The age difference looked a little bit disconcerting. But
Yeah.
he can drive.
Yeah, and that's what's mentioned. Yeah, that he can drive. Who's this kid? But he's not mean about it. Or
No.
anything.
The boyfriend is not,
No, he's not a jerk.
an enemy or an antagonist in any way. He's just,
He's just there. Like, who's this? Oh, I mean, he awkward. This kid randomly appeared.
and then boyfriend randomly appears.
True.
So
Yeah.
she likes that in guys.
Do you know what? Little Tom Hanks likes what he sees in her. her awesome side ponytail from the 80s.
Yeah. And blue jean jackets.
Yeah, that did it for me back then.
I had one.
That would do it for me then. All right, yeah, the whole point is he can't get on the ride because he's too short. And he gets embarrassed. And then he wanders around by himself.
Because he's
being all depressed.
depresso.
Because he's too short.
Till he ends up at the end of the arcade.
Yes, in the nowhere. Nothing's around except the Zoltar machine.
And the bridge leading to New York in the background.
Because they're in Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got confused because they wore Detroit jackets, baseball Tigers. Not Tigers, the Detroit. Not Tigers, but the Detroit baseball team. Not Tigers.
There's another team.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's not Detroit. Maybe it was the Dodgers.
It doesn't matter. Joe's brain. I'm going to watch this.
It was a D.
I'm going to watch his thought process.
I'm going to now say, wait a
minute.
And
his eyes are wandering around.
I don't know baseball well enough. It was a D on the jacket. And I thought I meant Detroit, not Dodgers. But it could have been Dodgers.
So we have this.
Either way,
we have this
I was
Zoltar machine, and it's really creepy. And I really like I think I'm sure they redid it. It's not an actual one. They made it look more creepy, but it says basically put to get your fortune, put a quarter in, and then aim it at its mouth.
Yeah.
And I think he put it in, and then
nothing happened.
Nothing happens.
So he smacks it up a bit.
He starts smacking it a bit, and then it turns on, and it has red eyes, and then a little thing says aim coin towards mouth.
No, it says make a wish.
Make a wish. Oh, and then shoot it. Then to shoot the quarter into his mouth. And it's going up and down nice and slowly. His mouth is going.
The whole thing with this machine is so good. The sound, the look, all of it. I just really creepy.
Good. Yeah, it could easily be in a horror movie. Really well done. And it's kind of fall-ish. Wind is blowing around. There's leaves and not so. And it's around no one else or around.
It's in the dark, basically.
Yeah, behind him it's just dark. So that was pretty cool. And gets it in, but he makes his wish. And he just says, "I want to be big," not specifying exactly what he wants.
So he should be happy with what he got and didn't get like morbidly obese.
Yeah,
or something
he just stayed exactly the same, but just expanded, like 2 feet.
Then he could have made so much money as a giant child. Anyway,
but then after he gets a little card that pops out. That says Zoltar speaks or something.
And then the back it says your wish is granted.
Your wish is granted, yep. And then he finds out
it's not plugged in.
Dum dum.
And it's a really old plug too, which I like.
And then it shuts down.
And then he runs away.
Yep. And then we have a storm that night.
Yes. Blows things all over the place.
Storm that night, and he's sleeping he has a bunk bed, but he sleeps on the top bunk.
So mom pulls baby out saying, Don't wake up the boy.
Don't wake up the boy. And now she's folding underwear. In the
first
kitchen
floor,
counter, I noticed the first pair of underwear. She's folding his underoos, Josh's underoos.
Yeah,
and she folds Mask, the cartoon underwear. If you remember the cartoon Mask.
And when he wakes up, the baby's back in the crib again, though.
Something like it's in their room.
In the room, yeah.
Because what happens is, so he wakes up and he's like coming out, but he's now Tom Hanks in underoos. How did he fit? Because those are really, I know those stretch.
They must stretch quite a bit.
Really hurt it.
Yeah,
that constrict his junk. Just.
It was loose enough for him to look in his own
junk pocket. He was curious. Did my dick grow or not? But we don't get to find that out.
No.
He's interrupted. But he's running around the house in a panic because he looks in the mirror and he realizes, oh, I'm big.
Yes. Older, bigger.
And mom is constantly calling, hey, come on down and eat your supper.
So he tries to put on his own clothes. They don't fit, so he goes and quickly steals some of his dad's clothes. Okay. And then, hey, bring down your sister, puts her in a
throws her across.
Bouncy house roller, and then rolls it through and takes off. And she's like, hey, what about your breakfast?
But he's in a panic, and he's got to find out. So he goes back to go to the carnival.
Yeah.
But everything's gone.
All gone.
All gone. It was just one night only or whatever, and everything's gone, picked up and moved. The carnival's gone. So goes back home, and he's all like, I got to talk to my ma.
And she freaks out because a man just walked in the house.
A creepy man is like, hey, I think she was vacuuming or something like that, and he's just trying to explain, Mom, it's me, and what have you done with my son? She picks up a knife.
Yeah.
And now we're getting serious, and I do remember that as a kid it got too real, I think, for this type of movie of now she is in a complete panic of a man, and now she's threatening to kill this guy. But she's like, no, it's his son. It's your son. But yep, and he runs away. But he has to go find his friend Billy at school. They're playing dodgeball.
No, they were playing basketball, but he's so terrible at it. They all threw dodgeballs at him.
He's a ginger. Can't help but terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, freaking soul stealing son of a bitch. Oh, okay. But then Tom Hanks shows up hiding somewhere, and he startles him, and he's like, "Don't worry, kid, I'm not gonna rape you." It's the first. Like, don't lead with that. No, he doesn't say that. But the kid freaks out and is trying to get out of that storage room
until he sings the Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Pop song,
the Shimmy Shank song. Oh, it is you. Okay, what the hell happened? Magic happened.
So creeper guy who had been creeping on these two kids could have known that, and just by creeping on them,
creepy hobo in the neighborhood.
Yeah. And then pulled this trick.
Because he had a Spider-Man walkie-talkie on the same frequency. And he heard them talk.
Yeah.
So
this kid's dumb. Little Bill, dumb.
Little Bill? He's always Little Bill. He's just Bill. He doesn't get big until the sequel. It's Bill.
What?
There's no sequel to this. But yeah, now he has somebody to help him out. And and Billy is a little bit more... street smart kind of guy, kid.
Yeah.
And he says, well, we just have to find out where this machine is. So, but you got to lay low because your mom tried killing you with a knife. So let's, here's some money I stole from my parents because they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And we're going to make you go to the city for a while. Lay low for a week.
Why would you go into
New York
the city to lay low?
Yep.
That's, I guess, kid brain kicking in and not thinking about it.
You're absolutely right. It's kid brain. Well, you got to go somewhere. Well, the city has lots of people, and they're not going to look for you there. Whatever. So, they go to New York City.
Yeah.
And they find this, dive hotel.
St. James Hotel.
Well, it's safe because it's...
it's a saint.
It's a church.
It's religious.
Yeah. So he drops him off in this scary hotel where there's people arguing in different languages in the hallway. There's gunshots, and rightfully so. I mean, you have to remember he's only 12 years old. Josh starts to cry.
Yeah, he borders himself in and starts crying because he's so upset about with where he is.
Billy says, I'll be back the next day. And then basically the next day they go to, not a DMV, but they go to Records Place, whatever.
Yeah.
And they pay them $5 to get the listings of where the carnival is going to be next.
Or just carnival listings.
Something like that. Just to get
Which
information.
Apparently was pages and pages of carnivals in New York.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever. It doesn't make sense, but the whole point is, it's going to take 6 weeks to process.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. Now we know he has to be big for 6 weeks.
Yes.
There's an excuse why he's stuck this way.
And the money won't last, so he needs to get a job.
He's got to get a job.
So they look through the newspaper to get a job.
Wait, what's the newspaper? The internet?
What's classifieds?
You mean...
Yes. 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 So he suggests, hey, I can do a paper route. And it's New York City. There's not really a paper route. And then they come to a job that computer skills.
I know computers. You know how computers? Yeah. They use HP 3000s. Those are old. I know computers.
Yeah.
He showed that he knew computers. He played a computer video game. So therefore, in Screenwriting 101, he knows all about computers. And he's a kid. And that's the thing. Computers were scary for adults. Maybe they still are now.
Yes.
But computers are weird, nerdy, crazy things. So,
but looking at the job he actually did, you could put monkeys in front of computers to do that. Yeah. Obviously, because they had Lyle Lovitz there.
Because John Lovitz. Lyle Lovitz was a country singer.
Whatever.
Lyle Lovitz is a not funny actor, comedian.
You know what I mean. Wait a minute. Who did I say again?
Lyle Lovitz.
And who is he again?
John Lovitz.
Okay.
They were brothers. They were in the movie Twins, the sequel. Now, anyway, I'm just trying to confuse you now because it's fun to see your brain go wait, and then you question reality of have I not heard about this? This is anyway. Sorry, Joe. I'm picking on Joe.
It's fine. John Lovitz. Anyway, so he goes to apply to the job, and to apply to a job, you go to the business.
You go to the business and write it all out. Write out your information. Yeah. And I do like when he just Billy helps him out, and then he says, "Oh, you're both going to go into the interview." He says, "Oh no, your son has to stay here." Oh, he thinks you're my son. Oh,
and they kind of just joke with each other.
They joke about it, but he goes in, and then the guy clicking his pen forgot a couple numbers here in your Social Security. 12. There, okay, it fits. Good enough. It's just numbers, whatever. And he gets a job basically because he has to get the job for the movie, otherwise he would die.
There was really no good reason for it.
The good reason is because the other character, Susan, comes in and she's complaining about her secretary and that she keeps screwing it up, and this distracts the guy, and he's like, "Okay, whatever, you're hired. We need you to start right away anyway."
Sure.
Because you know computers, and computers are weird and scary, and you have 5 years experience or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure. Computers.
Now, when Susan enters that room and says her bit, all I could think to myself was, is this the female lead of the movie?
It was strange because she just shows up randomly, and she's rambling about something, with the secretary that she has, not knowing anything because she's getting married or has a baby or something, just rambling.
Yeah, it
was very
didn't
strange.
Fit well in my brain.
Not at all.
It didn't fit with my memory of it or anything, so I was like, I think that's her?
It is because Tom Hanks checks out her ass.
Oh, yeah, he does, yeah.
And smiles.
Yeah. So then they walk him over to his area cubicle, where he works, which is it's not like a real cubicle. It's like a designer cubicle.
Did we mention what type of company he's working for?
A toy company.
McMillan's? McNasties?
We'll go with McMillan.
Little McMillan and Son. I wrote it down, but it's Mick something. Yeah, it's a toy company, and he's just doing data entry for toys. It doesn't matter. He has a job.
He's moving hand-done invoices into the computer database,
and he's already going too fast. That's when John Lovitz tells him, "Hey, slow down. You want to get us all look bad and get fired?"
See, now
I've been here for 5 years.
If that were me, I'd be like, just stare at him and
give him the work.
I would just keep working at my pace and be like, "Oh, you're going to get fired? It's too bad."
I thought you were putting yourself in John Lovitz's position.
No.
But he's a 12-year-old kid. He doesn't know that you should hate John Lovitz immediately. This rat face. And he says something like, "Hey, see that lady over there? If you talk to her, she'll wrap your legs around you and won't let go. Hey, okay,
I'll stay away from her.
I'll stay away from her." And okay, you're weird. But there's that character, and that's about it.
You see him
he's around, and that's it.
Doesn't play into it.
Yeah.
So then they work, and then it's the end of the week, and then they get a paycheck, and Big Tom.
That's right. He's Big Tom.
He's Big Tom now.
Big Tom
gets super excited for a paycheck that was about $150.
It was $187, and I went to do.
Did you do inflation?
I did inflation. I assume it was only 1 week.
I assume too.
$410 because this movie was shot in. It came out in '88, so that means it was shot in '87. So $410. So not that bad for data entry.
New York City,
but then exactly right. New York City. That's not even probably minimum wage at that. No, you can survive on $800. 2 weeks.
Not a decent living.
No, that's why you sell smack.
Oh,
but they're excited because he goes to the bank with Billy and they cash out
$100 bill and then 87 ones.
Exactly. Because
I feel for that.
Well, she rolled her eyes.
Yeah, because it's
because she knows this weird father who's dressed strangely because he doesn't understand. But because he's a 12-year-old kid that just has to get clothing that they have, he's taking his ginger son, to a strip club.
Well, it is New York City in the 80s.
Yeah.
There definitely are enough of those.
We really haven't talked about Tom Hanks' acting in this, and he does a really good job of being a kid.
He is a kid.
He is
in a man's body.
You can see his eyes moving around what's this? Looking around and being I guess, a fish out of water story, really.
Yeah.
And his movements, everything about him.
Absolutely.
Being playful, like when they're sitting on the steps or walking up and down a step, so like one leg will be up in the other and going on the step sideways. Just being playful, like a kid would be.
I think he coughed or sneezed. No, he yawns at one point in the movie and does this huge arm thing.
Oh yeah, he stretches his arm.
And it's very much a little kid moment.
Yeah.
Maybe too little of a kid, but
Yeah, but you're getting that across, and it's all throughout the movie that he does a really, 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 really good job.
Yeah.
So that's what's funny about it. Is his just watching him act is what's entertaining as
It's
a
a
kid.
good portion of the movie.
and then
just
you-
enjoying him being a kid.
And you forget about it too. That that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got money. They spend it all. They buy a bunch of crap food. They get sick. They're sitting in the crappy hotel, and they're shooting silly string at each other, which is fun. I like shoots him and gets him in the nose. It kind of hangs on his nose for a moment.
It's unsaid. He has an upset stomach. So he calls his mom in the middle, not too late, but later in the night, and poses as being a survey company.
Oh yeah, he was actually talking to his dad, but he calls home
Because he doesn't know what to do, and he knows his parents always have the answers. So he poses as a survey about what you would give your child if they had an upset stomach.
Yep.
And how often would you do it?
And it's a little touching moment. It gets a little real there. But then we're at FAO Schwartz building.
Yep.
Toy store. I didn't know this thing was a real thing as a kid.
I think I was there before it shut down.
Oh, yeah. It did shut down. Wah, wah.
Yeah, because...
Well, wasn't everything just expensive? Like all.
It was.
Everything was extra.
I didn't go there to buy anything. I just went around to run around like I was in the movie Big.
Yep, and that's what he did. And he was playing laser tag with another kid on the helmet. There's old Lego sets there, and in the background, there's Starcom toys. Do you remember?
Sounds familiar.
Starcom. They were awesome space toys that they would kind of fold up. Some of them would fold up into storage in the bigger space, and you would press a button, and the gears would no batteries. The gears would just make it open up, like a gun would move here, and you could put little other things into space shuttle things. It had a cartoon, of course. Awesome toys, and I was oh look, there's a whole bunch of them right there.
Big Tom bumps into.
Oh yeah,
he gets fried by the kid, and he's shaken out on the floor.
He got killed. He has to die.
So then he hears a voice going, "Hey, do you work for me?"
Yeah, earlier we didn't mention that he was running around with papers, and he accidentally ran into Robert Loggia.
Flat knocked him out.
Yeah, knocked
Cold.
him down. Yeah, he's the boss of the toy company he works for. Tom Hanks works for.
And he was walking around with Susan and Susan's boyfriend, who also is some sort of player.
Yeah,
in
they're
the
executives
toy.
basically in the company, and
They're both horrible people at the beginning of the movie.
Susan smokes too much, and all they want to do is just get to the top.
Yeah,
whatever, we don't care.
Rag on other people the whole time.
Oh,
and eventually on each other. It just
they're really they're scummy business people.
And maybe that's why I didn't like it. Connect with her in that first few scenes, just because she's just so she's not an evil person, but she's just. I wrote she's not fun.
No, she's not fun.
They work in a toy company and they're anti-fun people.
Yes.
Anyway,
exactly.
So then
Robert Loggia shows up, says, "Oh, what are you doing here?" "Oh,
I'm
here."
"Oh, you bring your kids?"
No kids.
Just playing.
Yep.
I come here to do the same thing.
Yep, and because he's doing research to see kids, because he needs to see, what toys do they like?
Yeah.
I'm making these toys. What do they like? But they walk and talk a little bit, and then we get the famous scene.
I'll say infamous because
it's more than famous, because that's what infamous means.
Yes,
the famous floor piano scene.
Yeah, if there's ever a floor piano, this is what people do. It doesn't matter.
It's that iconic.
It's this 30 some odd years later, and people will still do this just because of this movie. I don't remember the name of the song.
It's Heart and Soul, and then they play Chopsticks as well.
Well, I knew Chopsticks, but I didn't remember Heart and Soul.
Anyway,
I kept watching to see if they would mess up.
I was watching that too to see if they had screwed up.
I don't know. There was a mess up built into it, but I didn't know if it was like planned up to make it more real.
Because it seemed like they actually did it.
It seemed like it. Yeah.
And they're bouncing around, having a good time, and they bond. Oh, you're a fun guy. And Robert Loggia passes out, just wheezing. Oh, I can't breathe. And then he dies, but luckily he gave
gets
the inheritance.
resurrected back into a teddy bear.
Oh, my.
So now he's just a walking teddy bear.
And then Tom Hanks gets the idea of Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah.
But
starts shoving tapes into his back.
And he's like, no, I'm Robert Loggia, goddammit. You can't do this. And he's like, I'm taking over the company now.
And he turns himself into a caterpillar. A stuffed caterpillar.
Now you're getting crazy. Like a glowworm?
No,
okay.
Like Teddy Ruxpin's friend.
He had friends?
Yes.
Wow, you're blowing my mind.
I love Teddy Ruxpin.
Okay.
Especially when his batteries got low. And he turned into like a evil teddy bear telling you stories.
Or you had your tape of Mein Kampf and then you put it in Teddy Ruxpin because you're a weirdo.
Just yells the whole thing at you.
German language is so beautiful. It just rolls off the tongue. But back to this movie. No, they obviously, they become best friends, and Tom Hanks instantly becomes vice president of
development
of playing with toys to see if kids like them.
Yes,
and he's instantly promoted. And then they go on a montage. He buys a big studio apartment, fills it with toys, and like we said before, with
And then they show him at work playing with toys, bringing in Billy to play with toys with him.
They're zooming around in the hallways, bumping RC cars or into people's legs.
Doing what that kind of kid age would probably find awesome. And then being able to tell people, I want a big pizza and I want a recording of this football game.
Yeah, because he has a secretary played by Kitty Foreman. I don't know the actress's real name. She's Kitty Foreman from that 70s show.
I wrote Miss Foreman.
Yep, there you go. And she has to, exactly. I want a big pizza and tape the football games, but get rid of all the commercials. I don't want to see the commercial. She rolls her eyes and says, I'm going to nursing school. Screw this. And then goes back in time to the 70s. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. But she's there, and you're right. Billy's just hanging out. In the meantime, I think then they have a meeting because Paul, the other jerk, Susan's boyfriend named Paul, he's showing these new toys they're going to have.
And it's such a terrible toy.
Because at the time, Transformers were amazing, and GoBots were everywhere too.
Yeah.
And they're buildings that transform into robots. So I think it's the Chrysler building that Tom Hanks is trying to play with. And it's falling apart, and he's just looking at it like, I don't... And you can see in his eyes, I don't get it. Robert Loggia is just looking at Tom Hanks, big Tom Hanks, and Paul's done saying, okay, any questions? Because he's like just saying, oh, the studies show that blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then raises his hand like a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. What's the appeal of a building turning into a robot? It's just not fun.
Mm-hmm.
He can't explain it because he's a kid. He doesn't have the...
Jerk dude says numbers. Here's a sheet of paper. Numbers.
But Robert Loggia's got his back. Says, "Oh yeah, okay, I can see what you're saying."
And then
insects.
Big Tom says bugs that turn into robots.
Bugs that turn into robots, and everyone loses their shit.
And someone also mentions, "Do you mean dinosaurs that turn into stuff?"
And I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
Because wasn't that before they actually did that in Transformers?
I don't know.
I think it came after this that Transformers actually took the dinosaur out.
And insects. They had Insecticons. they had all this stuff. But everyone loses their shit because this is the greatest idea ever. Holy Jesus fucking titty Christ, my God. In heaven, we're going to be rich. They don't freak out that much, but it feels like they do.
Yeah.
And Paul is, my idea is gone.
Well, then they have a little... Susan B. Anthony and Jack Bennington meeting. The two
Susan and Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
I just said his name.
I couldn't remember.
Oh, jeez.
So they have a quick side meeting afterwards, and he is livid.
He's livid. He hates this new guy.
Upset that the new guy is immediately vice principal, and he's
it's fine.
Vice president.
It's fine.
And he is trashing his ideas now, and
they're both smoking way too much. Or at least Susan is. And I did remember that as a kid. She smokes too much.
This is the point where you see Susan's character starting to break away from him, and it's just kind of one of those things where I'm just like, I'm even in the breakaway, I'm still not on board with her.
I'm not buying it completely. Then they have a party.
Big party, yeah, and they gotta go buy it. Tux. Get a tux.
Yeah. goes with Billy to a place, and they're looking at all the different types of tuxes, and they're just being annoying in the like, oh, look at this one and this one.
So
this one.
annoying.
Kick them both out.
Yes.
I don't care if he's an adult. Kick him out. He's being annoying. Whatever. They go to the black tie party. Everyone's supposed to have tuxes. He comes in with a Liberace type white
embroidered, spangly
with tails.
Yeah.
Yep. Because
I'm down with that.
He didn't know. People are laughing at him, but also, well, it kind of fits him because and whatever.
He's the odd duck of the group.
Exactly.
That's why it's like, I even think Tom Hanks has a moment of like self-doubt when he hears the people talk about him, but then just pushes through it.
Yeah.
Of just like, whatever, I know I don't belong here kind of mentality. I'm going to go to the appetizer table.
And another scene I really remember him eating all the different things, not liking it, spitting it out, and just throwing it into the plants that are around.
Yeah.
Eating the baby corn like it's real corn on the cob.
Yep.
And then, Susan comes over and offers him caviar, I think?
I believe it's caviar.
Yeah, a type of caviar, a Russian, blah, 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 whatever. And
Russian beluga.
Tongue.
Yeah,
beluga something or other.
Didn't like it.
Well, okay, I've never... Wait, have I had caviar?
Have you?
I'm going to say no. I think it was around, and I just chose not to.
And I'm thinking I had it once and was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't appealing.
Fish eggs. Nah, no thanks.
Well,
but really salty. I know it's expensive. And
if you get like good roe, that's good.
Roe? What's roe?
Fish eggs that they sprinkle on like sushi products.
Oh, I see. That. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
Sometimes it gives a little crunchiness.
Yeah. Paula's getting drunk there, and he's just rambling on, and then Susan talks to Big Tom Hanks and says, I hate being at these parties. It's the same party that's been going on for 7 years now. They sit with the same conversations. You seem awkward and weird. Let's get out of here.
Big Tom is like, sure, let's get out of here. Whoa, you're in a limo?
A limo.
Whoa.
He's playing with everything, being annoying.
Oh,
and she's just trying to tell him all of her problems.
Yeah.
And he's not listening whatsoever because he's a kid in a candy store. The first time he's in this limo, trying to talk to the driver. You drive this? This is awesome. And then opens up the sunroof, and they stand out there, and
which triggers people to this day to stand up in limos.
Describing Joe, his eyes are rolling in the back of his head. He's dying, slunched over.
So let's go with slunched.
What the fuck? Anyway, they go to limo, but then he goes to his awesome loft apartment, or at least I thought it was awesome as a kid because it is made for a kid.
The loft apartment itself,
very cool.
Gorgeous. What he does to it,
and now as an adult,
not effective.
But again, he's a 12-year-old kid. She's talking to herself or out loud, just kind of saying, "I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be sleeping here tonight with you." And he says, "Oh, like a sleepover? Okay, sure, you can have a sleepover." Not understanding, of course. Yeah, you want a Pepsi?
There comes before they even go inside and get the Pepsi. Is one of the more famous lines of the movie. I think is sure you can have a sleepover, but I get to be on top.
I get to be on top.
Ayo!
It's so wrong because everybody knows that you want her to be on top because then she can't get pregnant because of gravity. It just makes sense.
I did not go to that health class that you did.
Health class? What are you talking about? I read that in a bathroom stall somewhere.
Wow, you had very informative bathroom stalls.
Online. I don't know how to read. But they go up to his apartment, and we described it a little bit earlier. And she doesn't want to really do anything.
It's so annoying. And
she's
not a fun person.
She's a stick in the mud, and he literally drags her up on top of the trampoline, and they bounce. And she starts to finally loosen up and just have fun with it. And he gets in his PJs. She's got a Jets jersey on, I think.
Jets.
And she's trying to figure out, do I
show
lay
my legs?
Sexy or do I cover up? But I'm laying here, like, come hither, eyes. And he runs at her and then jumps on the tampon. And then gives her a
glow-in-the-dark ring.
A glow-in-the-dark ring.
Which has a compass in it in case she gets lost in the dark.
Yep. She thought she was going to get some big Tom action. Tom action? Yeah. She thought she was going to get some big Tom action. That's what I'm calling it. I'm sure that's what Tom Hanks calls it, too. You ready for some big Tom action tonight? Tom action tonight? Stop it, Tom. You've been drinking again. Blah, blah, blah. They have racquetball with Paul because Paul takes.
Yeah, that's
Big Tom
after
out.
it gets. She basically is known as now Big Tom's girlfriend.
Yeah. She breaks up. She hands Paul all of his stuff that he had, whatever.
He
and
calls her a slut, basically.
You've been sleeping around, blah, blah. And then they go have racquetball, and he's a jerk to Tom Hanks who doesn't know how to play exactly. He wants to play video games instead. That's more his sport. Just scrapes up Tom.
And they don't show it, but he ends up punching Tom in the face.
Oh, he does? Oh, yeah. Like, he's just a big jerk. Yeah, she says later on. Then he has his birthday party with Billy.
Yeah.
And everyone sings birthday things. So now he's 13 years old.
Crazy pizza place.
Happy Italians.
Yeah.
But then he leaves Billy alone because he's going to go hang out with Susan now. So now we're starting to get the split of he's starting to become more
adult.
In the adult. Not necessarily more, a little bit more adult, but in that adult world. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, there was the statement of around a certain age, they're not interested in a certain kind of toy, and
he does say
Big
that
Tom
too.
Is like, well, why not? Why wouldn't they still be interested? And he said, I can't keep 13-year-olds interested in these toys because they're interested in 13-year-old girls.
I wish I could make those.
And
then Tom Hanks leaves. Robert Loggia pushes a button to a secret lab and has a bunch of scientists chained with ankle weights. Get working on that 13-year-old girl android. It has to be cost effective though. Robert frickin' Loggia. And he goes over and he has a piano on the floor, piano thing. He starts playing for them, and like, no, stop playing the piano. I gotta practice if I want to impress Big Tom Hanks and get that Big Tom action. Whatever. Okay, we skip ahead, and so now he's going on a date with Susan, and they go to a carnival. They're having a great time and fun, and she's loosening up, and they're having such a good time. They walk past a Zoltar machine.
He doesn't even notice.
Doesn't even notice it, see it. They're just having a good time with each other.
Then they go back to his place.
Oh, they dance.
Oh, yeah, yep, they dance.
They dance to Moonlight Serenade.
And she kisses him.
Yeah, they start making out, and then it transitions to them making out in her apartment. And then she takes off her top, and then she's in a bra. And
likes that.
He's just staring at her chest, and I like that she goes over to turn off the light, and he's like, no, and he turns it back like it on. I need to get. These are my first looks at boobies here. I'm going to really look at them, and then
she's like, oh, you want to leave the lights on? He's like,
he just nods as he's staring at her chest, and then slowly touches, and then
that made me laugh.
More. That was a good joke of Now, then they start making out, and then the camera goes away, and then the next day he's high-fiving everyone, and everyone's in a good mood.
He's definitely in the I just got some.
Now that's the question I want. Did they
They're
have sex?
insinuating.
That's what I thought, and then Natalie said, no. They could have just made out, and he was still excited.
Correct.
And he was still excited. I mean, he's a 13-year-old boy, and he got boob. He got to touch boob. That could be just enough.
Correct. But
yes,
Hollywood has standards for insinuating
exactly.
sex.
That shorthand was sex of high fives, instantly snappy. Yeah, I got some.
It changes over time, but because America has this puritanical version of sex, and Hollywood got suppressed for a long period of time because it was too risque.
Okay.
But those later got loosened, obviously. But those standards still exist in film, where the classic example was suddenly now you see a train going through a tunnel.
Oh, yeah, it's hot.
You're seeing them smoke.
Oh yeah.
After the fact.
Keep going. Let's turn the lights on a little bit.
And in this one, it's the I just got some walk and high fives.
And that's exactly it's shorthand. It makes your brain notice it. Yeah. So I think they did it.
They boned. She had sex with a 13-year-old.
Yes.
And she realizes that later, and that's why she has a meltdown
later.
later.
No. Yeah, a little strange, but
as a kid, you don't
not thinking
put that together.
No, not at all. They have a dinner party, blah blah blah. So we gotta skip ahead, but just showing that they're at a dinner party with some other friends, so he's become more in the adult world, helps out the host's son who's having problems with algebra, and he's so smart, he's so good with kids. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because he just learned how to do that, so it's already fresh in his mind. They talk about did you watch the PBS Columbus special about Columbus? Yeah, whatever.
They're setting up through those scenes that Susan's falling for him.
Falling for him because he's innocent
friends
and
are
nice.
saying he's a catch.
He's a catch. Smart. He's a nice guy. He's really smart. And she is starting to lighten up a little bit. And it's also showing that he's going into the adult world. But now they have to. So they pitch it where he has to come up with a new toy line. And she says she'll help him out. She'll do all the marketing stuff. You just come up with this new toy line. Billy gets notice that the stuff came in, tells Josh. Josh doesn't really. He's too busy. He has to come up with this pitch, so he's busy now. Billy starts looking for it more and more. There's a little scene where Billy sees his Josh's mom across because she's messing around in Josh's room. Yeah. And earlier basically Josh had called saying, "Don't worry, I'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll come home safely," referring to young little Tom coming home. Big Tom is pretending to be the kidnappers or something. She's crying. It gets really real. Yeah. And give me my son, and he says, "Well, sing a song that only Josh knew." He sings a song. She starts bawling. All that stuff gets real. Mm-hmm. This interaction with Billy across, and I bought him. It was his birthday. I bought him a present. Gives it to him. Like whatever. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, and it's all that stuff is. It's a bummer, but it's real, and I don't think it belongs in this movie completely because they don't have a police investigation. The police never interview Billy, the kid, the best friend next door. Yeah. None of it. It's just it's forgotten about. And this scene is a motivation for Billy because he was like, "Screw you, Tom Hanks."
Well, because he kept fluffing him off.
He kept on not returning calls, but he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna keep looking through the information for your mom." Yeah, because your mom is depressed. So I'll keep looking for Zoltar through all these paper and calling people to find out where this is. Yep. Then we get to the presentation. And what thing did Big Tom come up with?
A electronic comic book where you can choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure, like the novels.
Yeah. Which were great in the 80s.
Except it's electronic and would not be, I think they say, $19 they say for this comic book.
The cartridges would be like $7 each.
Yeah, so if you run out of options, you
get a different story.
Yeah. No way. No. Even as a kid, I thought that's stupid. Too dumb.
And I mean, they have. I guess I keep thinking Leapfrog, but there's those cheesy books that you buy where you turn the pages and you push the buttons, and it's sort of like that.
Exactly, it's similar, but. Yeah.
It's a more affordable and realistic version.
Yeah, this was not realistic back then. It would have been too big.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been clunky.
It would have been way too big. Then what they do is they take all of the toys, and then they go over to a Zoltar, and they say, "Make these smaller." But they have to unplug them first to get the magic to work. And Paul's revenge is, "I don't get it." Yeah, because he just wants to be a jackass, and everyone groans. I'm like, "Shut up, Paul. We love this idea. It's going to work for us."
Big Tom just leaves.
He leaves because he was told by Billy, "I know you don't care anymore. Who the fuck do you think you are?" I think he drops the F-bomb. Yeah, and says, here's Zoltar. It's here at this place."
Yeah, and I think he mentions Big Tom, Little Tom's mom, and that she's distraught.
Yep, and then really was during the whole presentation he was not focused, and that's when he just literally walks out of the room.
Well, the night before he has the conversation with Susan about, okay, I need to tell you. Oh yeah, and she thinks that he's going to drop the "I'm already married" bomb, but he drops the "I'm a 13-year-old boy."
Yeah, we're all kids, whatever. Some of us never grew up, but you have to get into adulthood. And he's like, "No, I'm literally a 13-year-old boy," but she doesn't accept it.
And then overnight, she peeks in his wallet and sees a bunch of little kid things in his wallet. Yep. And then on the way to work to do their presentation, she asks him to buy some gum for her. Oh, and he hands Bubblicious to her.
Watermelon
and she does.
Bubblicious.
She looks at it going,
"That's what a kid would buy."
That's what a kid would buy. So you're right. Slowly coming over together. To it.
Yep. And earlier, Tom Hanks had wandered around his neighborhood, and he was watching kids be kids and starting to realize that he's missing that and doesn't want to be an adult.
Yeah.
Like, I want my childhood. I'm missing out on that. I'm just hanging with my friends.
So when he leaves the meeting, Susan tries to keep it going and then
she
just
follows.
leaves.
Yep. Blah, blah, blah. They eventually both get to where they're going, but to the pier. And Tom Hanks gets there first, and he
makes his wish.
He wants to be
Zoltar.
Back to normal. To
he
Zoltar.
does unplug it before doing it. And
yes,
the wind does pick up.
It does pick up a little bit, but not as much. I needed a bigger storm than like the night before.
So she's kind of sad that he decided to do it. I guess because having him stay the way he was would make him be not a 13-year-old. Like eventually he would suddenly become the 34-year-old or whatever he is.
Yeah.
It was a weird kind of trying to bargain with the moment.
Yeah. But she knows it's lost, and she's sad. And he says, "Do you want to do it with me? Do you want to come with me?" And she says, "Oh, I've done that already, and I didn't enjoy it."
Yeah.
And it's absolutely true. Like, no way. Go back to 13 years old. Go back to 18 years old. I'd say 20, 26, 27, 28 would be just fine.
Okay.
That's for me, at least. That's what I've asked Zoltar for. Well, how about you? What age would you go to?
I have no idea. I'd do any.
You would do any?
Why not?
Well, I guess you're keeping the knowledge that you have.
If that's the case, that makes it a hell of a lot easier.
I suppose so.
If you do a full wipe, what would be the difference? You wouldn't know the difference.
Absolutely true, I guess. Anyway, but in this movie, Zoltar, which was next to a Sega Outrun arcade system, but she goes and plays that and says, "Well, screw you. I'm not getting the big Tom action anymore." No, she's she's understanding. She says, "I'll get over it." So how old are you? Something like 16 or 17? No, I'm only 13. Oh, man. I had sex with a 13-year-old kid in a Tom Hanks 34-year-old body. Oh, well, maybe keep my number. In 10 years, you can look me up, she says.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea, though.
Because then she could have a young thing on her arm.
Yeah. And she drives him back and have a little more conversation. They say their goodbyes, and he walks over to a house.
And when she looks away for a moment,
movie magic,
looks back, and he's small.
Yep, and he's
now,
in his big suit.
I call BS on that moment because he needed to be asleep the first time, so that was the standard set.
Storm.
There wasn't a huge storm.
Bullshit, right. It takes less magic to make it small again. Like you need a lot more magic to
deflate them a little bit.
To get to harness the magic to get a Tom Hanks. A lot more. This to get a child actor, and not so much magic strength. So.
Whatever did that kid do anything else?
He did a bunch of stuff. I don't really stuff that I had never seen. I was curious too. Like, what's this kid ever done? Whatever.
Yeah,
I think he had a last name of Moscow or something like that.
Moscow.
It doesn't matter. And he's with Billy again, and they start singing
Shimmy Shimmy
Shimmy Shang Shang, and then a song ends on do 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 do. That's it. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Now, I remember for some reason in my brain, I was expecting the movie ends with him in class, and he sits down, and then there's an empty desk, and he turns and looks, and a girl that looks like Susan sits down next to him and winks. I don't know why my brain made this up, that she actually did go back and become a 13-year-old girl.
Wow.
So we have a 30s or 40-year-old lady in a 13-year-old girl's body, and I just wondered, where did she live? How does this work out? Yeah.
She probably could have lived in Billy's house. No one would have noticed.
They didn't notice. They never noticed that he was gone or anything else. But that's big.
That is big.
It's big.
Big
Tom action.
Big Tom action.
I liked it. It was okay.
Yes.
It was fine.
This is a solid movie. I don't think it really, even though it calls a lot of 80s stuff out, I think it ages appropriately.
Pretty well.
I mean, there's 80s hair.
There's only so much.
There's some 80s clothes, but all the interactions are pretty universal.
Yep, definitely. So, you can watch it. Watch Big.
I am going to also state that 13 Going on 30 is a fairly decent remake of this.
Oh, it was a remake?
Yeah, except it's a girl that jumps ahead.
Oh, it's Jennifer...
Love Hewitt. Jennifer Aniston.
Nope.
Jennifer
Keep going.
Gardner.
Jennifer
Gardner.
There it is. You just kept. Yep, you did it. I couldn't think of her last name.
Because I watched it, I think, once,
Okay.
and I thought it was fairly funny and good.
Well, there you go.
So,
all right. Well, that was Big from 1988, directed by Laverne.
Shirley.
Laverne.
I'm
Sure. I'm sure. Oh, shut up. If you could rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you get us, that would be greatly appreciated. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at RewindersPod. Or if you want to email us, at therewinderspodcast@gmail.com. Joe, what would you wish Zoltar would grant you?
I think I would just take a big wad of cash right about now.
Right now?
Yeah.
You need some cash?
Well, no, I don't need cash. I'm just saying that I would
liquidate?
take a few million and then just be able to coast without needing money.
Okay.
Or then I'd, build a lot of houses for humanity and
what are
do
you,
a lot of
freaking,
travel.
Jimmy Carter?
No.
I know, it's a good...
Not Jimmy Carter.
You've got such a good heart. I would wish for big time action.
Oh,
Yeah. Wrap it. What do we say at the end of this? Goodbye.
We are the Rewinders. Thanks for listening.